Of course, I have been working in civil society for many years. I am not someone who started in the political world. Let me say that first. I worked for years in human rights organizations with the oppressed. After I left my duties there, I worked in civil initiatives. I served as the head of the Quds office of Muslim there and as the general president. After leaving those duties, we didn't stop. For instance, Hrant Dink's on the 5th anniversary of the murder. I protested this murder being left in the dark. We sent a message to every different group. I am a human rights advocate. I do not discriminate. Turk, Kurd, Armenian, Azeri, Alevis, or Sunnis. There was no distinction for me. That's why in the second term, even though I did not want to be a member of parliament, the entire public knows this, I had made a statement. In other words, I do not want to be a member of parliament in the second term, in the 28th term. I will establish a foundation. And I said I will strive in that foundation. I will focus on the foundation. But the party said, well, we want to see you as a member of parliament in this term too, and everyone wants to be a member of parliament. But they told me this: we know your character. This enriches us. So when they said they want you among us, I said, all right then, truly. I did serve one term as a member of parliament. I was thinking to focus on foundation work in the next term.
That's why I was honestly occupied with the idea of establishing such a foundation.
When I entered prison, already a bit, as I sat and thought in prison, I had decided that I should establish a foundation.
In the previous period, the seeds of this foundation had been planted in my mind,
with Phyllis,
had started to turn in my mind.
Now, in my actions. And in the new term, I thought maybe I shouldn't be a deputy and instead focus on foundation work. But this time, such situations arose. I said, well, I can continue with the parliament membership and also the foundation work. Somehow, collectively with our friends.
We conducted in this way.
And it can continue. So I thought, since it's like this, let me try it. We continued on this path. Again, it was the second term. We are members of parliament, and we also established our foundation. It's been over a year. Of course, when we established this foundation, we did it with a core team of friends we believed in, and we also emphasized diversity. When the foundation was being established, I always said this: I have been working in the field of human rights for years. Even now in politics, I mean, a lot of people are reaching out to us from all walks of life. People can see it too. We do not discriminate. For example, today I held a press conference. From A to Z, there were people from every segment of the country's 85 million who had approached me. Without making any distinction, I brought their issues to the agenda. We specifically want the foundation structure to be like this. From the very beginning, we have always set it up this way. I mean, we say this, we structured the foundation's philosophy like this and have declared it many times. We are a country tired of identity conflicts, you see.
Here you
yes,
go.
People are Turkish, Kurdish, Armenian, Greek, Arab, Samar, Alevi, Sunni, right wing, left wing, and they are busy fighting each other. This identity deep conflict is becoming more profound. I find this harmful, like this thing.
Look at life from this angle. From this angle, values
should not look.
People can wake up from birth with a religion, maybe a language, a race, a color, a political view.
Yeah, I must.
Whoever we are, we have
political
our
information.
views. We have our race, religion, sect, but
we don't approach life from these angles. Our conscience.
Let's look at it from this point. So
the biggest aim, purpose, and goal of the AKP is honestly this. We are trying to offer this to some of humanity.
We're saying, well,
you
know,
can
every
be any
different
kind
group.
of person, it doesn't matter. But look at issues, life, our era from a conscience perspective. This perspective is already a very deep, forgotten one. It is a perspective that is discussed a lot among people. when we look at history, when we look at literature, when we look at the history of thought, actually intellectuals, enlightened individuals have focused a lot on this topic. We see that they say valuable words and produce works such as Victor Hugo, Dostoevsky, Tolstoy. Important figures in history acknowledge the significance of this conscience issue and acting with this feeling, which includes everyone without distinction.
No need to
it has already been emphasized. But in our age, there is such a confrontational environment that people are busy devouring each other, killing each other, excluding each other, othering each other. So busy. These very valuable feelings inside people have started to disappear, to be lost. This is also harming our humanity. We say human first, right? Those valuable feelings inside that human. Let's highlight that. For this reason, we say that let our foundation include people from all walks of life. I mean, let's highlight human values with people from every segment and appeal to all humanity. I mean, I don't know. There are some organizations, like I address the Sunni community, my friend. That's my thing. Some say they address the Alevi community. Some say they address the Armenian community. Some say I only... they might say they are focused on the problems of Turks. But we say that, but this can become a bit narrow. Yes, people should focus on their own groups, their communities, and live that, but they shouldn't overdo it. They shouldn't forget the humane and conscientious perspective, because that's what's really necessary. If issues related to one's own identity turn into blinders, then people may forget and start to exclude the outside. This can cause problems. We say, let's look at issues like this. And that's why we do not really want to engage in any political polemic, identity polemic, and similar topics. More like a bit starting from abstract theoretical issues to create a common ground. In politics, I have a line where people from different political parties give what's due. I mean, I'm not a fanatic party member. But let me try to explain my political stance to you, more or less.
It worked.
I am working.
I mean, yes, in politics, I carry the label of being a member of parliament for a party.
Suitable profession for me
The
to.
Kurdish issue has been mine for years.
That's something I've struggled with a lot.
Because I said that this issue absolutely needs to be resolved, that it needs to be resolved with fairness.
I'm already here.
Okay, that's what I
mean, the fanaticism level.
Not bad either. I also
I'm fine
criticize
to
my own party and tell my friends. It is like this. To be honest, I am somewhat above parties in politics. That's one.
Here you go.
People in the other party also see it. That's one.
Secondly, you leave.
Yes. Yes, I am a member of parliament, and that
We founded this foundation with my friends.
But this is not a party organization. This is a completely different place. This is a non-governmental organization. Honestly, I wear a different hat here. Yes, I am a member of parliament from a party. I have my politician's hat, and I also have a non-governmental hat. I mean, for example, we have done many activities here for over a year. Not even once did we didn't fall into a political position. I mean, as a foundation. We definitely did not say something like, we support them parties' position and criticize other parties. We looked from a completely universal perspective, from A to Z. I mean, no one can criticize us on this. Wherever there is pain, that's where we directed our attention. What can I say? The issue of Palestine has been a major focus for us. Everyone who has been violated. However, I also want to say this. The Conscience Foundation actually did not choose to be an ordinary human rights association. It is trying to do something above that level. I have come from the field of human rights. I am doing that work in politics too. I mean, when a citizen faces a grievance, they knock on my door. They say, this happened to me, please deal with it. And well, now 2 administrative units here and there, assembly, press conference, social media, this and that. With every effort I can make in every direction if needed, reader, I am trying to do everything by calling their manager, doing this and that, an individual struggle. But at the Vicdan Foundation, we say this is not what we do at the Vicdan Foundation. Like when a citizen knocks on the door, Mr. Ömer, something happened to me, fix this, let's see. We do not accept such applications. This is not our mission. We say, you know, there's that example, don't bother killing the flies. Dry up the swamp, make it green there, let flowers bloom there. Now we're saying that killing those flies one by one is indeed the job of a human rights association. That's it. Problems arise and you address them. But as the Conscience Foundation, we already say there should not be that swamp causing those problems to emerge. We say that swamp should be a beautiful, blooming, lush green garden. So instead of dealing with those flies, we are trying to give society the idea of creating that beautiful garden. Come on, friends. This is what creates pathology among us, what creates human rights violations. We say, let's remember our humanity and conscience against these situations. For example, when starting with the foundation's philosophy, many of our friends would be said to be very tense due to the injustices they faced.
Angry at the government, tense and such, but
we just the first.
We know that just being angry at the government or excluding it or criticizing or bashing it won't lead anywhere. I mean, we think that we shouldn't approach them by saying you're horrible, you're destined for hell, you're despicable, or whatever else, for example, or by insulting them. We say, let's remind people of their consciences. I've already been in parliament for 7 years. Our Meral Danış Baştaş always tells me, she says, you criticize these AK party members very harshly, but you never insult them even once. These two are different.
He showed me as an example to other deputies once. He said,
Oh,
"Hey,
Mr. Ömer, he criticizes AK party members very harshly, but does not insult them.
Here,
We actually need to do something like this during
the civil
conscience
society
time too.
perspective.
I mean, those we are angry with could be oppressors or others, but we say let's remind both oppressors and the oppressed of their conscience, you know. The oppressed is not completely innocent either. The oppressed can also commit oppression. The oppressor is not entirely to be pitied either. And the heart of the oppressor can soften, they can find conscience and change. The time of conscience looks at people this way. It does not look from a confrontational place by dividing into two. The bond of conscience says, let me remind both the oppressor and the oppressed of conscience. And yes, I should not get into political disputes and polemics. I mean, yes, I have a political identity. This is a disadvantage. Maybe it will be an advantage or maybe a disadvantage for this foundation. I am the president. Yes, initially people are coming or not coming because it's me. The position is really this. You know, for example, when I say I founded such a foundation, currently, a portion of those flocking to our foundation are those dismissed by decree laws, the victims like, we love Mr. Ömer. He has founded a foundation. Let's go there with eyes closed. I tell them, don't come here with eyes closed, brother. This so this is not my personal place. I mean, this is a collective civil society effort. Know this. I mean, I am a president here, but this is not my place. It's not my monopoly, and I'm not the one making decisions here. We make decisions collectively. Everything here is collective. This is not a place for politics. I mean, I haven't established a new party here. Here is the public. I say this, everyone listen. We are not saying come to our understanding or anything like that. Here, for instance, all our meetings lasting over a year always proceed with a collective understanding of what is the best. Now, if we come to the conclusion, Yes, people might look back, well, this ex-president is a member of parliament from the Midem party. Yes, some will consider it this way or that way and look at it as an added advantage. What they will appreciate will come. Some will not approach with prejudice. Yes, that is also there. But we have never used such an argument. It's a political argument and we don't use it. For example, we held conscience meetings. At our foundation, we tried for months to bring people together from all segments. You see, Roma, Syrian, those affected by decrees, mothers of military school students, well, villagers, city dwellers, Sunnis, Alevis, Turks, Kurds. Particularly such workshop activities and we wanted them to listen to each other. We really emphasized this. That is, we said to people, you are not the only one with problems, my friend. People come and say, you know, I'm Kurdish. Do you know what I've been through? Another one comes and says, well, I'm also an LGBTI plus individual. Do you know what I've been through? Okay, we understand. Tell us about these. But also know that, for instance, the Armenian across from you has experienced things too. Look, our Levi friend has been through things as well. Listen to them too. Try to empathize. We are now trying to strengthen these dialogues. We ask people, what is conscience? People say it is empathy, morality, justice, mercy. These are all beautiful words. But then we say, you see, our issue is already these words. I mean, you know, not the evils of the government or anything like that.
These do not exist in our world.
So how can we create empathy in our world? How can we establish morality? The sense of justice, compassion, conscience, goodness. When you say conscience, these come to mind. So then let's do this. I mean, yes, you have your troubles. You are part of a community. You have big troubles. Yes, we understand, but know that, oh, human, the person across from you also has troubles. Try having empathy for them too. Now, for example, as the Conscience Foundation, we place great importance on this. We are trying to explain, embody, and feel the concept of conscience from this perspective. And for that reason, for example, all the conferences we have held so far, Conscience Foundation, Purple Room talks, this and that, we covered all of this from A to Z, even in a single program. We have never done anything political. For example, someone comes and says, Erdogan says this, CHP did that, the DEM party did this, MHP did that. My friend, this is not our topic. Mehmet, get out of here. I mean, this is not our thing. This is not our plane. Go to a cafe. Yes, sit there for 6 hours, talk and relieve yourself. But this is not it here, for example. Whether in the central headquarters conferences or Conscience Foundation talks or psychology talks. We cover these in all of them. And we also do many studies in the end. Among these, we also work on the rehabilitation of victimized groups. I mentioned earlier that someone oppressed can also be heartless. Yes, they are a very severe victim, but in anger, they act without conscience. They might become a suicide bomber. Many oppressed people become suicide bombers. You know, out of anger, they become suicide bombers or insult others. We say this is not the way. And that's why, for example, we formed a psychology group, created commissions. We are conducting psychological support and assistance activities to address people's deficiencies. We established different commissions.
No.
Here's how it is. First, we establish a structured group approach among ourselves. And then we try to do these things. For example, our psychology group gathers every week. They produce video works, hold seminars, conferences, and so on. And for example, also psychologically, a discounted psychology for segments traumatized by human rights violations. We are doing support and aid work. For example, if we could find a fund, a project, we could do this entirely free of charge. It will, of course, be more useful. You know, it will make things much easier for us. However, we haven't been able to find this yet. In some way, we are working on it.
People
It would be great if we could be a foundation providing free psychological help to people with psychological issues. Our aim is to help disadvantaged groups. We say, for instance, if such commissions could strengthen materially and spiritually around here,
Much stronger works.
they will do it. For example, our legal commission has reached a position much like a more qualified bar association. Our education commission is very qualified. It could be a place for conscience and theoretical discussions. Our psychology commission is inclusive of everyone. We have a culture and arts commission. Last year, we held a short film competition and asked people to send us films that conveyed the concept of conscience. We evaluated and selected from among them and awarded them. Then this year, these are still on our agenda. Every month, we read a book and analyze it at the end of the month. We have plans to hold competitions in short film, cartoon, photography, and similar fields, for example, culture and arts in our commission. We have the Young Conscience group. We only include young friends. They also focus on current events related to the concept of conscience. Collectively, efforts are being made to explain the concept of conscience to society. We have a corporate communication committee. We have an international relations committee. We established it at the beginning of this year. So far, we have been a bit delayed on it. We also organized an international activity. As the Conscience Foundation, we presented a report to the United Nations Human Rights Committee in Turkey about human rights violations. And we want to expand this further this year. Also, we have a Gender Equality Commission. There are ongoing debates in society over gender and types. For example, LGBTQ plus individuals, women, and the severe victimizations they face. This is in our commission. We have a structure, kind of skeleton like this for the topic. Now we have a skeleton. You know, we have straightened our posture and formed a body as a foundation. However, these bones and muscles of this body are not very strong right now. This year is the year to strengthen them, and it is the year for us to ensure this diversity. We said it from the very beginning. Let's move together with people from every different segment and address people from every different segment. Let's do this without forming any groups, religious sectarianism, racism, exclusion, or politicization, we said, and we're trying to do this, meaning we have religious people as well as atheists among us. I mean, there are also staunch leftists. There are those with a right-wing conservative view of the world as well. So we do not look at anyone's religion, race, sect, head covering, whether they have a headscarf or not, Alevism, Sunnism. We do not consider any of these at this point. We have a very clear line. Well, of course, people can have prejudices. You know, people are very eager to label. People are very eager to label by saying, let me look at such and such foundation or association and put a stamp on it. But we say that no matter how much people try to label, we call our place a common human denominator. Additionally, we think we use social media channels well. It will be even better, God willing. We have almost 4,000 on Twitter, known as the X platform. We have followers, people are watching. We have an English account. Our Blue Sky account is opened. We also have a Facebook account, an Instagram account, and a YouTube account. We are currently heading towards 1,000. There are around 800 followers. It's increasing steadily. We meticulously and carefully upload our programs to the YouTube channel. We have a nice website, thanks to email. So initially quite amateur, and we carefully filled it in. Anyone who looks there, I mean, just get to know this Vicdan Foundation first, right? Anyone who says, let me take a look at this website is already, they will see what I've been telling you for 10-15 minutes there. What has this foundation done? Well, this foundation has worked for humanity. This foundation has strived for the concept of conscience. For instance, throughout the year 2024, we tirelessly tried to choose the exemplary act of conscience of each week. We did such an interesting activity. We said, I mean, what is the most exemplary act of conscience of the week from Turkey, from the world? Let's choose this. What does this mean? It creates a conscience awareness in us, and we offer such a conscience awareness to the world. And here, of course, you know, there was a terrible event in the year 2024. There was a genocide in Palestine. Inevitably, in the face of this event, even if one is not Palestinian, not Arab, not Muslim, people who showed conscientious reactions and acted with great conscience stood out here. I mean, you know, being American and for Palestine, those who did very humane, conscientious work, or those who, being Israeli and Jewish, made a significant stand against their own state, these and others, inevitably this stood out. But outside of this, what can I say? Someone doing good to animals, you know, doing good to a living being. People who exhibit very valuable behaviors in small acts of human kindness also came to the forefront. In the end, for instance, we have examples of the week, examples of the month, yani, collecting all these examples of the year.
We chose like this,
and it created a reaction
that is throughout the year to remind humanity of the concept of conscience every week.
We worked. Now, for example, maybe while
we're
doing...
a bit tired. Finally.
Oh, the resulting work.
It made us forget all our fatigue because we said we have been involved in a good work.
So every week to ourselves and to people.
Is there anything as beautiful as reminding someone of an exemplary act of conscience? And just this.
We continue with all our effort. If a friend, along with a few of our friends, sits down every week trying to find out what are exemplary conscientious behaviors in humanity this week, we make a selection, reflect on it, and produce. Now, these actually educate us first and foremost, that is. I mean, for example, I don't know, maybe I'm better than the Ömer from a year ago. Yes. So that's what mankind is like. In Arabic, insan means forgetful. Well, our name means forgetful anyway. So that's why we need to constantly remember every day, week, and month. We need to remind ourselves of our conscience concept. Because believe me, current political and social events like explosions, debates, anger, shouting, make us forget our humanity. We constantly have to remember our humanity and conscience. Look, this is very important. For this, we need to practice continuously. That is what conscience time is for. We say, my brother, we are not being arrogant.
At the very beginning,
all the people...
He was trying to remind him of conscience. We have nothing else. And
a race... Dindir sek.
It's meat, it's a political opinion. Put them all aside. Come here. You can have a political opinion. You can have a race, a language, a religion, a language, a sect. It doesn't concern me. Your humanity concerns me.
It crawls this.
There are a lot of people, but everyone is still trying to do something.
I'm calling out so much.
I had a political intention. No, nothing like that, my brother. Come. You are highly valued. You are a conscientious person. Come. Share something. We say welcome. We are offering this platform to everyone. We say, welcome, this place is yours. I established this foundation, yes, from A to Z, but I tell all my friends, this is your place. I mean, with Turks, Kurds, Armenians, Arabs, Circassians, Alevis, Sunnis, right-wingers, left-wingers, people from every group, this is the place. We are not producing any fanaticism here. We say no to fanaticism as well. This is not a place for fanaticism. For instance, yes, I have a political duty. I deal with matters from a slightly different position in parliament. We argue, shout, and so on, depending on the situation. However, my axis there is also conscience. I say, so for example, last night I gave a speech to the people from the AK party. I didn't insult any of them. I mean, listen to the speech.
They always cause a pang of conscience.
I explained the examples. I said, look, there are very heartless things happening in society. You are also in a heartless situation.
Return to your conscience. Return to your conscience.
Look,
Blue.
I'm not insulting you. I'm not calling you low lives or dishonorable, but you've lost your conscience. Return to it. That's our message. Now,
Beautiful.
in the upcoming year 2025, we think we can do much better work, like a child learning to crawl.
That we are, and that crawling child is now slowly starting to walk. And of course, this year needs to turn that walking into running. And its muscles, we know that the bones need to strengthen, and we are focused on this. Diversity is the theme for us this year. Both internal diversity, diversity of topics, diversity of people, diversity of themes. All these are currently on our agenda. I hope we do. Well, we've established this infrastructure. I mean, that framework is in place. The social media, website, commissions.
Thank God all of this
that was
matters
established.
to me.
Thank goodness. Right now, strengthening these is how we most want to announce it. We are at the stage. We have everything. I mean, we have our headquarters. It's open. Sure, anyone is welcome. Come on, brother. We have a website. It's open. We are transparent to everyone. Those looking at us can see our back, our inside and out. We have no secrets or hidden things. We're saying, come on, brother. Our doors are open to everyone. Whatever we said on social media from A to Z, we mean it. We don't have anything hidden. We definitely don't have a secret agenda or anything like that. So we say, come, brother, let's revive this concept that's difficult in certain situations. Because conscience can be an easy concept at times, but it can be very difficult at other times because people often look at the world in a very self-serving way. So when it comes to their own interests, they can trample underfoot conscience, morality, justice, and elevate their own gain. That's why we want to say that there is a world beyond just yourself, and look at them through the lens of conscience. People are a difficult subject, so it's not actually an easy topic. From the outside, it seems like a very pleasant topic in literature. It sounds very appealing, but within ourselves, defeating the lack of conscience within us and reviving our conscience is not actually an easy matter. Each of us has significant shortcomings. We have mistakes. Overcoming these is not so easy. Ourselves, the pangs of conscience we experience, the twinges of conscience, the questioning of conscience, all these are extremely important. And this is how we are trying to bring the foundation to a certain point, individually and socially. But now, I mean, this is not an individual issue. I mean, this is a collective issue. We have to elevate this place together. My bar is set very high. I don't see the foundation as an area I will engage with as a 1 or 2 year hobby. Our friends don't see it like that either. I and all our friends, I mean, this bank will have a lifespan of at least 100 years. It will offer a value to humanity. For centuries, we envisioned it as a place where people will get stronger and do beneficial work. So our children, our grandchildren will elevate this place. We will leave it to them as a trust. Let them carry this flag to better places. Yeah, I mean, how should I put it? Not just a whim for 3 to 5 years. We didn't plan this as a place where we would set aside to gain profit or anything. Yes, let us bear the burden and fatigue of this work, but at this time, let us bring it to a strong position. Right now, our most important and effective commission is psychology, because it has settled, for example. Each week, thanks to our friends, they come together in Ankara. They discuss, they talk, they try to produce the best. They know they produce. We are doing a separate work for society. I mean, apart from this individual psychological support service, our psychologist friends conducted group therapy and provide services through videos. We are broadcasting on YouTube without any charge. We do not demand it. Plus, every Friday evening at 22 o'clock, our psychologists hold psychology talks on topics like family relationships, issues within the family, and so on. at 10 o'clock at night. Besides all of this, here is this unique work. We consider this very important. We find it very valuable. We have structured the work very well. Emine Hokam organized the application form on our website very nicely. I mean, the system is perfectly set up. How does the applicant apply? They go to the psychologist. This, that. Here we, as you said, as a foundation, we are not making any money from this. I mean, we really need funds. Yes, but we didn't say, let's make money from this. Here, our psychologist friends are already offering a discounted service. Bless them. For example, we are doing something positive for such disadvantaged, unjustly treated groups. For instance, regarding Syrians, 90% of Turkey says Syrians should get out. I don't know. They say all sorts of things, etc. So the political background of this matter is a separate issue. There's the Syria issue. Criticize as much as you want, but there's a human being in front of you, you know? I mean, there are women, men, children, babies. Their homes are attacked depending on the situation and so on. It's unacceptable. Now we have contacted Syrians and found them extremely anxious. They are extremely sad. They are homesick, but they have to stay here. I mean, when you listen to them, you feel really sorry. I mean, these people are very victimized. We say, come on, they're human first. You know, people with blood and spirit like me, with veins, brain, and soul, let's sit and talk with these people. Of course, we were quite shaken when we talked. For instance, we organized a conscience meeting. Do you know who was at that meeting? Respected parents of Harbiye students, those affected by the decree laws, Kurds, respected Alevis, respected Syrians, a friend from the Roma community, etc. Now, everyone explained their own issues, those affected by the decree laws, Kurds, and so on. Everyone said, as you know, my problem is such a big issue. Then it was the turn of the Syrian friend. The Syrian described with tears what he witnessed in the war in his country, how his cousin was cruelly killed and his body was hung for days, how he narrowly escaped death and came to Turkey. All of you, we were frozen in place, so to speak. Then a friend from the Romani associations had come. He's a Romani who became a teacher. Consider how difficult it is for a Romani to become a teacher in this country. The man became a teacher and established a Romani association, which is it's a virtuous thing. Can you imagine how wonderful it is? I mean, a Roma. A man told us about the struggles Romani people face. And of course, we were shocked. Now, do you know what happened? The ones with the state of emergency decrees, you know. And do you know what they all said? They said, we thought we had problems. Wow, what the Syrian and the Roma have experienced. Our issues aren't even problems. They said exactly this. Look, now that's why we consider these conscience meetings very important, for example. We also learned a lot, for example, while doing these.
Gölgede kalanlar parıltıyı bekler. Terk edilmiş umutlar yüreklerde yankılanır. Yıkılmış hayaller, peşinden koşanlar. Kararmış gökyüzünde doğacak gün arar. İsimsiz kahramanlar, sessiz çığlıklar. Bir avuç umutla başlar isyana. Haksızlık kapanında sıkışmış olanlar, özgürlüğe kanat çırpan kuşlar. Her bir adım korkusuz, her bir ses yankı, kalpten kalbe taşınır, umutla dolu akış. Haksızlık duvarlarında açılan bir gedik, vicdanın sesiyle yankılanır dünya. Karanlığın içinde parlayan yıldız, suskun yüreklerde çarpan hayat. Görülmeyenlerin sesi artık duyulur. Direnen ruhlar bir araya gelir. Eller birleştikçe güç kazanır. Kalpler özgürlüğe açılır. Sessiz çığlıklar yankılanır. Adaletin yolu böyle başlar. Her bir adım korkusuz, ses yankı, kalpten kalbe taşınır. Umutla dolu akış, haksızlık duvarlarında açılan bir gedik. Vicdanın sesiyle yankılanır dünya. Her bir adım korkusuz, her bir ses yankı, kalpten kalbe taşınır. Umutla dolu akış, haksızlık duvarlarında açılan bir gedik. Vicdanın sesiyle yankılanır dünya.